Hi everyone, and welcome back to week 2 of the Compassion Project Presents Art for Resilience. This week our theme is based on your surroundings. The idea this week is to take a good careful look of your space, whatever space you are currently occupying, whether that's in your home, an apartment, your bedroom, office. Considering our new realities and observing our environment in new ways can help make us feel more in control of those spaces. And with that in mind, the art prompt for this week is called Taking Your Mind for a Walk. So essentially, what we will be doing is taking notice of the textures in our surrounding space by allowing our minds to wander and our eyes to drift around. You can complete this exercise in pretty much any room, and even might be a fun goal to try and complete it in every room in your house. We have time. So what we're going to observe is the textures in our space and then document them. Instead of focusing on trying to capture everything that we see or make an object look just the way it is, I want us to spend some time letting our minds drift and pick out specific objects as we go. So as you're looking around, what objects are you drawn to? Do those objects have a texture? And can we take a sample of the texture of that object in order to document it and maybe use it for something else, which I will soon demonstrate. We will be using a technique called rubbing, where we place a piece of paper on that texture we want to capture, and then using drawing materials we'll apply pressure and scribble over it in order to capture that object. Materials you'll need for this exercise is really any kind of drawing tool that you like. You can use a pen, pencil, marker. I'm going to be using crayons. And then also something to draw on. So you can use just a plain sheet of paper. I do recommend having multiple, so you want to capture multiple objects within your space. Or if you have a notebook, that's great to use as well.
For the first step of this exercise, I want you to simply take notice of your surroundings. We may be spending some extra time in our spaces lately, and it's a nice exercise to look around and appreciate what you have. Take notice of objects that might have textures, maybe a planter or a cupboard, your floor, a dog toy, etc. Let your imagination take you.
So once you've decided on an object, or a few for that matter, take your piece of paper and place it on the object, making sure not to harm the object, and also making sure that you keep your drawing materials on your paper and not on the object itself. And so then take your drawing object and begin to rub. So you may want to experiment with pressing down hard versus doing something a little bit more light. And there you can see the texture starting to come through the paper. So now I'm just going to go around my home and do some rubbings of a few objects. Here is my bathroom floor. And again, notice the different kinds of pressure that you can apply. Here I'm pressing straight down and applying quite a bit of pressure versus doing it a little bit lighter and not applying as much pressure. More pressure again.
So you may have heard me say dog toy when I was listing objects, because this is something that I want to try. Again, we're experimenting here. It might not all work out, but we will see.
There's a little bit of texture. Now you can do separate textures on separate pages, or again you can add textures to the same page. So here now I've moved on to an exercise ball. Flat surfaces are definitely easier to help get the texture because you're able to apply the pressure you need. For example, this is my painting table. and you can see because I'm able to press harder, I'm getting a little bit more texture to come through. So take some time, explore around your house, and get a nice sampling of different textures, and I will show you what you can do with them next. All right, so after you've collected a few texture samples from around your space, if you'd like to take this exercise a step further, I do have a few suggestions. But remember that this is your project and it's something special that you created. So you can really do whatever you'd like with it. Maybe you want to journal about the texture you collected. For example, here is from my bathroom floor, and I wrote, "Dear Bathroom, I'm grateful for you in so many ways. Thank you for running water and toilet paper," if you wanted to write a little journal entry about it. You could cut out your textures and make a collage, which I'll also demonstrate. Or maybe you saw something in the shapes that you created. For example, I drew a little monster guy with an umbrella because that's what I saw when I looked at these textures from the dog toy and exercise ball. So for the collage portion, if you decide you want to do that, you will need a pair of scissors as well as a glue stick or some tape. So I just took my samples and I'm going to cut them into shapes. Maybe with this exercise you want to try and recreate the room from the textures you've taken. Or for me here, I'm taking my little umbrella guy and here is a storm cloud. So as I said earlier, you can really complete this exercise pretty much anywhere. You can do it on the bus, out in nature, in any room within your space, even on a park bench. Getting even more imaginative and trying out different drawing tools and different drawing surfaces can also help make this drawing a little bit more exciting too. Taking samples that you collected of textures and using them in different way helps us think creatively while also honoring the special things created from our space in a new way. It's fun to find the special beauty in the objects that we are surrounded with every day. So I encourage you to acknowledge your space, appreciate it, and look at it a little bit differently with this lens of textures, and knowing that you can create something else from that. As always, we hope you've enjoyed this exercise, and please feel free to share whatever you come up with and how your texture drawings turned out. We would love to see it. Thanks so much for checking out week 2 of the Compassion Project Presents Art for Resilience and taking your mind for a walk with us. More art soon. Stay tuned.